Okay, so welcome everyone. This is Contour Office Hours. We're 15 minutes in. We forgot to hit the button, so it's my bad. But today is Thursday, December 17th, and we're talking about um, Contour. So I think one of the things we need to add in terms of, I'm not sure anyone's really using auth yet, to be honest. We need to have a good story for OAuth 2. That's come up a bunch. I know I have an issue on adding the filter. Um, I'm not sure if folks have thoughts on that as well, but um, so you can set up OAuth 2 today with Contour by implementing an OAuth 2 external auth server. One is that Istio has one. I tried doing that, and I think James did as well. I saw a thread in Slack, but I couldn't get it working, and I think James couldn't either. But we should come up with a good story around how to use OAuth in Contour. I feel like that's like a common use case that we should have a guide or something on, at least somehow to get it working. But today, if you want to do it, you could, because we have the OAuth plumbing, I'm sorry, the external auth server plumbing in place, but there's no implementation. Envoy does have an OAuth filter, which is here, and basically you wouldn't have to set up all the extra bits to do OAuth 2. So you wouldn't need an extension service, or maybe you would, I don't know. But you wouldn't need an extra authentication server to run and a service and maintain all that extra bits. Basically, you would use Envoy itself to do the OAuth 2 work. We would just have to configure it. And I say just configure it, but yeah, you'd have to come up with some sort of API to be able to program all those bits in Envoy for all these different things. You know, the client ID, the redirect ID, the auth endpoint, all those sort of things. I like this idea because you don't need to deploy extra stuff, right? You just deploy Contour and you configure Envoy and boom, you're done. But I'm not sure what anyone else might think about it. We don't have to talk about today either. We can come back to this.
I guess one thing that stands out to me is that attention where it's under active development. Does Envoy follow the same process of other CNCF projects for API development? And would this be considered like alpha or beta at this point?
These filters and extensions have some sort of tagging on them. I forget exactly how they graduate from one step to another, but there's like active development and then some that have been like hardened against like untrusted traffic. You'll see it yet like in that attention like little call out box. I don't remember what I don't know if there's a process for graduating those things like that, but
I remember UDP had the same little tag, and we asked Matt Klein, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's been in production for a while." And then we took out the like no one just took the box off, the little box. But that's a valid point, Dan, about if it's still kind of beta alpha thing, then would folks want to use it? But I don't know.
Maybe there's some type of interface for for Contour that allows users to enable or disable like alpha features, like what you'd get with the feature gates for Kubernetes. That's a pretty slick thing for Kubernetes.
I guess what this introduces is if you went down this route, and this is sort of similar, I think, in the issue. This is LinkedIn. We talked about this with Nick a little bit, or Nick and I did. But this is similar to how we do like the local rate limiting filter, right? So you can do rate limiting on each set of envoys, and that's what Steve has in his rate limiting design to do. Just like there's like a bucket setup you can do to limit just requests per second, that sort of thing. But it's the same kind of thing to me, right? You're configuring a filter in Envoy to do some feature. But if you look at the overall architecture of what we've built, this kind of breaks the model of how the external auth service was written. Again, I just feel like if you have less to deploy, that's a better solution than having to manage and deploy more things. But again, that could be just my own thoughts. So we don't decide today, but we have to figure out how to implement this if we ever wanted to, where this configuration stuff goes. And this is kind of the same thing, sorry, Steve, that we were talking about with rate limiting, of where do we put this config? How do we rationalize where all this stuff kind of goes? Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, it seems useful, it seems like potentially an easier way for folks who are using auth too. It's like slightly awkward because there are two different ways to do auth depending on your scenario, but that's how it is in Envoy, and it's kind of difficult for us to paper over that in Contour, so we might just have to kind of go with it. It's like you said, it's similar with rate limiting. Like there are two different ways to do rate limiting in Envoy, and it's pretty hard to paper over those differences with a Contour specific API. So I feel like you sort of just need to expose both of them.
Mm-hmm. And you have to do this somewhere. I mean, that's the. I mean, just I think the way we built auth today is it's sort of like a black box. It's like, well, you go off and deploy that, and then come back, and then it'll work. But so Contour doesn't have to deal with it because it's not part of Contour, which is good in one sense. But someone still has to do all these. You still got to set this up somewhere somehow. So, cool. Again, we don't have to decide today. I forget how we got down this road. Oh, talking about testing. Yeah, that's what it was. So I'm cool with it. I guess, Sanjay, are you cool with shipping 1.11? You missed the first part. We were talking about the extension service field.
Yeah, sounds cool with me.
This one.
Yeah.
Essentially, we've broken anyone who's running a V2 auth server.
V2 only.
V2 only.
Yeah. It's like our sample one is both V2 and V3, and that will work just fine.
Yeah, did we had Contour 110 added V3 support, or did it like deprecate V2 support or something? I forget what the release notes said.
So 1.9 was the only release that supported both V2 and V3 XDS APIs. The gotcha was that this field here that was in the extension service is supposed to define when you create what version you're going to use, but it wasn't implemented. So even if we added this, in 1.9, it wouldn't ever worked unless we actually wrote the code to actually switch it.
Yeah, I guess given that it never was hooked up to anything, I guess that sounds
okay. I'm cool. I think we're fine. So we can go ship away if that's cool with everyone.
I think it's okay. Just check. We can patch if we need to.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just checking to make sure that the operator is using that latest. What was it? Is that change implemented in PR 3203? Change remaining V2 XDS references to V3. Let me just put it in the chat window really quick. Just trying to make sure that the operator is using that latest version of the CR. And where is the chat window? Oh, geez.
I'm pretty sure you updated for that, Daniel. I thought I saw a PR, but worth double checking.
Where is the chat window here? Exit full screen. There it is. 3203. Is that the one that updated the extension service to V3?
Yeah, that was the one.
Okay, cool. All right, and it is using the latest and greatest.
Is this all updated? I guess this is using 1.16.2. I don't know. I can't find out where those images are set. I just looked at it too. I feel dumb.
Oh, for the operator?
Yeah, where are the images? Where are they stored?
Well, the image tags, they're set in, hold on one second.
Is it in here?
They're set in config, manager, and
manager,
and then customization. But all of that is handled by the the release script.
Where does the Envoy image come from?
Oh, the Envoy image is set in a few different spots. I was going to kind of refactor that so it's maybe just, you know, in one location in the 3 different spots. But it's set at the default set at command contour operator as a default. And all that's been updated to 1.16.2 as of yesterday.
Cool, perfect. That was the one thing I was gonna make sure.
Yeah, that was in PR 165, and that has that's been tested. So good.
Cool.
Yeah, from the contour operator standpoint, all the PRs are merged. Let me just really quickly go to, the issues, the milestone, and add operator to docs. So when I look at the milestone issues for the operator, pretty much all the docs are done, aside from if you go there, I have PR 3169, which should already be in the chat window. Let me put it in there again. Copy link address. Does 3169, does that get merged? It get merged after creating the release branch?
So what does this one do? 3169?
That just updates the Netlify. Oh shoot, what am I doing? No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong.
No worries.
Wrong
Yeah.
one. Let me get the right one.
Yeah, the Netlify thing, right? This the redirect thing stuff here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do this after we release. So I think our order of operations should be, and we can follow this release process here. And I want to update this too. I feel like it's still a bit patchy of things. But what we want to do is first is we're going to go and build. We'll check out a branch. This is how I do it. Yeah, I'll check out a branch. We'll run this script, and this will go and copy the 1.10 docs to 1.11 and reversion those. I'm sorry, from main. So to go from main to 1.11 and do all of the work in here. So this stuff is just for information. And then we can update the support matrix for the version client Go, which I think we didn't change. And we can do this in pieces too. And then once we do that, we will make a branch and then PR that into this branch and then go from there.
Cool. Yeah, this release process doc has been really nice. I've kind of simulated it on a few occasions just to test things out with the operator. I haven't done all the steps, but yeah, it's been really nice.
I would definitely also like to make some updates to this too, though, like maybe separating out minor releases versus patch releases, because the process is slightly different branches and stuff, and then just make it step by step. Do this, do this, and then have the explanation as like a sidebar or something that's collapsed, but just make it very procedural.
Yeah, I mean, all this could just be comments in this script here, I think.
Yeah.
I just want to have like 1 do this, 2 do this, 3 do this, and then boom. Yeah. Because a lot of this, Daniel, like if you folks want to help do releases, it's totally doable. Someone else can work on this, but we can do it together here, and then 1.12 if y'all want to take it on or something, that's fine. There's not much to do here really though, but writing up the notes, which I guess we didn't do yet. Steve, you've been good at doing that, but I can do that today too.
Sorry, I dropped the ball on that for one.
No, you've done the last couple, I think. So you put your ticket in. Maybe we should make Sunday do it this time, because he's the new person here. Cool. So I guess we'll do this first, right? So we can run this, and Steve, do you run this against main, or you just PR this back to main, right? And then we'll branch from there. So
I've preferred to create do it as a feature branch. So create a branch, run this on the branch, and then do a PR against main, just because I'm not comfortable pushing directly to main. I don't
okay, for sure. Yeah, I don't like that either. I think someone else on the team was doing this. I don't
Yeah, I mean, I get it, like it's automated, but for example, I just did 1.10.1, and if I had done this, I would have pushed a bad docs version to main. And having the PR is just a chance to review it and make sure you didn't mess up anything.
Okay, so we will go ahead and do this. So we will fetch stream. Do this real quick. Hey Keith, welcome. We're just doing the 1.11 release together here, but if you have any questions, we can chat about that either during this or yeah.
I'm just enjoying following the process, actually.
Okay, very cool. Yeah. I gotta fix this too. So if you all run like make check all, this is my like go-to. This does all of the checks the PRs do, short of running the integration tests. So to me, this is my like go-to of like, is my main clean before I do anything. Also, if you download the GoLin binary on your machine, it's like 1,000 times faster than running that in Docker. But on a Mac, I think on Linux it's not too bad. Okay, so let's create a branch and then just get rid of all this stuff. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna run, we'll just follow our docs here. We'll run this little script and we will do hack prepare release and we're gonna go to version 1.11.0. Go. Yay. So then now that should have changed a whole bunch of stuff. So essentially, it commits it for me and everything too, I guess. It did this stuff. So it made, updated this YAML file, which is for the menu in the doc site. And then it creates this, it copies and pastes the site doc over. So now over here in site, there should be now under docs. Sorry if it's too small for y'all. Under docs, there should be now 1.11.0. Yeah, right here. So we should think about too, I don't know if we can archive all these somewhere. This is something I talked about with Abby last time we talked about docs, because on our docs site now, it's like this ginormous list of things, which is kind of unwieldy in a way. I don't know.
Especially considered, we don't really support any of those old versions.
Yeah, we talked about Abby and I talked about having like an archive page or something where we take them out of this list, but you can still get to them because it doesn't really cost us anything to keep them in Git, or in the in the Netlify site. So we can still have them in the case someone's wanting to upgrade to 1.2.1 or something. I don't know. Anyway, that was feedback. So Abby works at VMware. She's a tech writer, and we went through some ideas about how to make this site a little more user friendly and a little more clean. So we'll work on that. I should push this while I'm talking. So that's all we have to do for that. That makes us the doc site.
Yeah, just FYI, this was the step that threw me off with the patch release, because if you only specify the new version, then by default it copies from main, which is not what you want for a patch release.
Oh.
So for a patch release, you can specify the old version and the new version. And so I had to specify v1.10.0 and then v1.10.1, and it'll actually copy from that version. So that's not documented on the release process page.
Okay. So that's that. So we got to wait 10 minutes now for all the PR stuff to run. But you can see this is probably a better place to see what happened with that script. Again, this is all just the doc stuff. And in theory, there should be nothing else really to do for this. That's just we should just make a bot do this, I think, or something, All right, so what's next? Let's pull up our notes. All right, so then we got to update this support matrix stuff. So here's where we specify, I guess we already did it for 1.10. So we'll add 1.11 to this list. This is where we specify kind of what version of Contour supports what version of Envoy. I know back in the early days there were breaking changes before like the V2 API was pretty stable, but recently this hasn't really been an issue. Meaning, I'm willing to bet with 1.10.1 you could run it with 1.14 or something. Again, we haven't tested that or played with that, but I'm pretty sure that now those APIs are stable enough that would work. But here we just list out the CVEs. So why do you want to upgrade because of CVEs and Envoy? And then down here are all the extensions that are required for Contour. So for folks that want to build their own Envoy with compiling out extensions that don't need to be there, there's a whole list of things that don't need to be there. These are all I think that we really require.
Hey, Steve, can you go to the bottom of that matrix? It says these.
Sorry,
Very bottom. Very bottom. these extensions are tested against Envoy v1.16.1.
Mhm.
We're going to be releasing with 1.16.2, right?
Yeah. We
And
can
Steve
revalidate
Cri-
them. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if like that's just part of like the end-to-end testing. So like now that 1.11 is being released with Envoy 1.16.2, I thought maybe that was just inherent.
I mean, I actually haven't tested with 1.16.2. I went and built an image this morning just to have, but I'm willing to bet it's going to be fine because 1.16 isn't, 1.17 we'd have to revalidate again, I'm sure. Steve had a good idea, Steve Chris, last time about having our integration test use a compiled version of Envoy, which only has these on, and that would help us, one, validate this list, and two, make sure everything's running the way it's supposed to. So we can do that. I was working on a GitHub action to do that. And it takes like forever to run, but it works. It takes like 3 hours to build Envoy in a GitHub action.
But so just to be clear on that list, so like we are running our EDE tests against, the current version of Envoy, against Envoy 1.16.2. But what that list is showing is here's like the minimal version of extensions you need compiled in for Contour to be able to work. And we're only revalidating that it's the minimal set manually right now.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. I guess
Yes,
it just kind of caused some confusion on my part. But I think I have a better understanding now after some of that background. Thanks.
I think it's a valid point, though. I mean, I think you've got a good point where we're saying, hey, use 1.16.2, but we've only tested against that. So,
Yeah, there seems to be a gap there, if you ask me.
In theory, too, we don't ship an Envoy with these in it. It's up to the user to build their own. So, I don't know.
And like the default Envoy has these plus a whole ton of other ones.
Yeah. So because we run against the stock Envoy from Docker Hub. So that one has everything baked into it. So it's more of if you're in an environment where you want to be more cautious and have less surface area in Envoy, then this is kind of for you. But we should absolutely validate this. I think that's a great way to do it with our integration tests. And that's what this was here. So I need to finish this, but this will actually go out and build an Envoy image in Docker Hub. So I just need to get that fixed up. Cool. Steve looked good to me. Sanjay did it too. Wait for these to run. We can do the support matrix next, I guess. And that one is what? Resources? We should link those in here, Steve, too. If you have a notes somewhere for this docs page.
Link what, where?
Like we say, update the support matrix. We should put like where that is. So it's in site resources envoy.markdown.
Gotcha.
That'd be great. Because I did this once, I forgot where it was. I was in the other place. I was in the docs looking around for it. Cool. So we're gonna just make this one 1.11.0 1.16.2. I think that's all here. I'll leave the 1.16.2 at the bottom here just because I haven't actually validated it. So once we do that, we can update that link. And let's just do the support one here too, instead of having 1,000 PRs. Does that make sense? So Kubernetes has one as well. Probably should bump the version, but Knative again probably. So this is saying, so we use Client Go and Contour to talk to Kubernetes, and Client Go guarantees a backwards capability of 3 versions. So right now I think we're on 1.19 of Client Go. So in theory, Client Go will support those three. I think it'll work further back. We're not really using anything crazy. I guess Ingress v1 is in there now. Would be the only thing. But like services and endpoints and all this sort of things haven't really changed for what we use for them. So I'm wondering about those would work. But again, just to follow the versioning rules from what our dependencies give us. That's why we have these versions here like that. Cool. So we'll just do that too. So get status.
Would there ever be a patch version that would support a different Kubernetes version?
Like a contour patch?
Yeah, right. Because I'm looking at like 110.1, 110.0. I would think it would just be like 110.x.
Yeah. It could be.
Yeah, I think we could probably do it that way because I don't think we would bump a Client Go in a
Right.
patch release. At least not a maybe we would do like a patch version of Client Go, but it wouldn't change the supported Kubernetes version.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah, I would just switch it to X. I think it's a little bit easier on the reader.
.1. Do you want to put .x or just 1.9? What do you all think?
I would use .x so that people understand any patch version should be covered.
Like that. What's a plural of matrix? Matrices. Matrices.
And while you were there, I was just trying, one of the docs issues for the operator is about like the support matrices or matrices. Should we add anything on either of these matrices, like just saying that the operator is using the same version as Contour, or do you think let's not address that now and it's implied? What do you guys think?
We could do that. I don't know.
While you're thinking about that, I mean, I've just kind of struggled of like, how do we represent that? Again, is it just implied, or do we somehow just add a sentence to each of the support matrices to say, the operator runs the same release?
I think we could add a note somewhere about that, because it's not. I don't think that it's necessarily implied. I think folks might think that you might, because other operators will let you define the version of the software. Like when I wrote Elasticsearch, I let you define, like the operator version of Elasticsearch didn't need to match up to the version of Elastic that it deployed, I guess, if that makes sense. So
right.
You could rev that version without revving the Elastic version, because you define the version you want to deploy in the CRD. Whereas this is not that. So we can have that somewhere probably. Maybe that's like on the we could have it everywhere. That's fine. We could have a note here too. Like,
yeah, I mean, personally, I would probably put it somewhere closer to the operator docs, because these are really, like, these are specific to Kubernetes and Envoy compatibility. So it'd be a little random to have operator to Contour stuff on these pages.
Yeah, I think some of this too, we want to clean up. Some of these things, I'll have to look through my notes from Abby, but and there's a lot of duplication of things, like this page and the Envoy page are sort of similar, because like we have Contour Envoy, why don't we just put Kubernetes here? You know what I mean? In the same page, and have one big like support matrix page.
That would be easier,
I think, instead of having to click through different things. So I think that's one thing that Abby brought up that I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. I think they started out differently. One, we had this first, then we added Envoy later, and blah blah blah. So I think we can revamp all of this, Dan. I think we can have an Envoy release with a Kubernetes release with a other release. Yeah. 1 second. Okay, sorry. I have my phone
Yeah, so-
died, and they shipped me a new one, and FedEx is out front, and they have to sign for it. So I'm yelling at my wife to go get it. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to finish that thought, it'd be nice to just have one matrix where you have Contour version and then, Envoy, Kubernetes, operator.
Yeah.
Done.
Cool. And I think we'll leave the point releases for the Envoy one because that specifies when there's an Envoy patch. So for instance, like 1.10.1 uses 1.16.2. Yeah. Go away. Okay, cool. Did that first one finish?
Site proof's running. It's gonna fail because there's a bug in the logic where it tries to check like published links, but
Yeah.
the site hasn't been published yet. So
Yeah, there's an issue for that. Yeah, so the site proof does like we run a Jekyll site. Or Steve, you were talking. I'm sorry. You can. Do you want to explain it?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I'm scanning the errors right now just to make sure
Okay.
there are no other errors.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so like Steve said, so we run Jekyll, and what does the site proof does is it goes and validates that all the links are valid. So if you update a link or add something like even linking internal between the site proof thing will go and validate like, hey, that link's somewhere that doesn't exist yet, or it's incorrect. So this fails because we linked out now with the v.1.11 docs. It's trying to validate that those exist, and they don't yet because we haven't pushed this to Netlify. So this is a valid error, but it's one of those no-op errors that we need to fix. We need to have the docs site check against like a local version in a way, at least for the project Contour domain. Other things like Twitter, why we go out to Twitter, I'm not sure, but that link does work. I'm not sure why that shows up. Must be something from, I'm not sure. But
I saw
anyway,
those with the 110.1 site too, and the links all worked fine for me. So,
yeah. So I think
Just
we're going to
nice.
move away. Yeah, we're going to move away from Jekyll because again, talking to Abby, like Hugo, I guess is much better and much faster, and we can do lots of cooler things with it. Because what I want to do is I want to get rid of this here and make this like an accordion where things can expand and show more details. Because this is hard to read. So I think we can do that with Hugo. Well, not we couldn't do it with Jekyll, but anyway, I'm diverging again of things. So this is good now. I think even though it failed, we'll just
Yeah,
roll off.
looks good to me.
Okay, so we will merge that. All right, so there's there's the docs.
And just kind of for context, like we try and just do everything roughly at the same time. So yeah, technically the 1.11 docs will be published before the 1.11 images, but we live with it.
So that one's going to run. What's the next step? I keep clicking away.
So really quick,
Yeah.
Steve, now that has been done, the PR that I put in the chat window 3212, should that no longer be held?
No, we'll do that in a second here. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, because this links out to the renders. So we haven't done the actual release. So we just did the docs.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so these links, these quick start links, route out to like a branch. So this release 1.11 is a branch in Git, which doesn't exist yet. We haven't done that part.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's next. So we'll do that next, I think. These two are done. Upgrade instructions we'll get to. We'll do this branch thing next. Does that make sense, Steve? You just did this. That's why I'm not looking at you, Steve.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think that makes sense next.
All right, so we will.
I mean, I guess the only consideration here is like if you want the updated compatibility matrices to be in the release branch, then
Yeah,
you have to
probably.
wait until it merges. But
That
then it
part.
means these things like, they're serial. You can't do them in parallel.
Yeah, we probably should do this just in one PR. That's what I should have did. The docs and all other stuff in one thing.
I think that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
So we can update the instructions to say that.
Yeah. No, this is out of date too, so rebuild that.
I mean, honestly, I'd be fine just merging these, like, it's just docs, and
Okay,
I don't know that we really need to wait for all the CI to run.
I'm fine with that too. We didn't change anything to break anything, so
Right.
all right, you guys are good. I'm just gonna do that. Yeah. That's fine. All right. And then now we'll do the branch. So we'll fetch again. Rebase. All right, so now that should be my last commit is the, yep. All right, cool. So now we will go check out our release. So we will do git checkout -b release 1.11.
Steve, I did just notice the upgrade instruction step is just above that. Are you intentionally
I don't know. We'll do that
holding off
next.
for that?
I guess that should be in there too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that matters too much because the website's served out of main either way, but
That's a good point. So there's this.
We need to add upgrade docs for the patch release that we just cut. No. I don't know how that logic works.
yeah, I looked and we didn't have them for previous patch releases, so I didn't add them, but we should decide what we want to do and document it.
This is something else we need to, I think, revamp. Talking to Abby, because one, the TOC is bad, broken, but we're gonna do it now, but we'll just fix it later. But we keep copying and pasting each version, and we have like the same things in the middle over and over and over and over. So I think we need to revamp this.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I fixed the table of contents thing, but didn't actually.
So I guess the thing is we've seen inconsistencies where, like, if you do the site development local,
Yeah.
it will work, but if you publish to Netlify, it won't. That's what happens here. If I run like the site locally, this table of contents will show up. What the difference is, I don't know. So what can we move from here? Can we move these 1.10? Because it's gone now, right? 1.11. So you want to drop this warning? Or you want to leave it? This is the TLS 1.1 minimum version.
Yeah, I guess we can drop this because the change was made in 1.10.
And these heptio annotations were gone since 1.8, so that can probably go too, huh?
I think they were actually removed in the 1.11 release. Like, they were still there, but warnings were logged up until the current release.
I'm gonna leave that one and drop the first two. Sorry, you probably can't see that.
I think that's okay, yeah.
That. Leave that for now.
Yeah, I would just change this to say they've been removed. Like, they're gone now. They're not supported anymore.
Wait. And then this is not longer valid because now it's going to error. Cool. We'll leave that for now. And then we'll grab this upgrading thing. I don't think there's any breaking changes in this one. So we're going to go from 110 to 111. Oh, and I always take these out too. .116.2 is the latest Docker Envoy. What's this thing? Oops, can't do that, huh? Does that wink work if we do that? Oops. Yeah, it does. Cool. It's 27.
Get the line 38 as well. Bump to 1.11.
Ah. Yeah, we need to clean these up.
Yeah.
We could I mean, all this as well. I don't know. I think we should also, yeah, describe the process better. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is the stuff that like every time we do it, we're like, oh, we need to clean it up, and then
Yeah.
kind of just forget about it until the next release.
PR is welcome. Like this screams a version. We should have like a variable to do all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Jeez. Wait. I guess this can go away, huh?
I guess the only note here would be that if they haven't already upgraded to
Yeah.
V3, then like there may be some downtime when they upgrade.
Older than 1.9. See the Access Migration Guide.
More than 1.10, right?
Oh, 10, yeah, sorry. Contours overlaid. Oh wait, we should older than 10. Please upgrade to version 1.10 first, then upgrade to version 1.11.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For more information, see the extension guide for more information. Okay, I think that makes sense. Cool. I think that's it. Upgrade guide for version 1.11. There is. We should share this out somewhere different. I don't know. So we use Netlify to build the site, and we have it pushing to a different channel. But there are preview deploys. We could have it pushed to a different channel. Log into here and see it. Yeah, here it is. So you can preview the site before it actually goes live. We need to find a maintainer channel on the Kubernetes Slack, I think. Or we could turn this back on for PRs. We had this off because some other folks originally didn't. So what this does is this generates a preview site for what you just pushed, and folks are worried that someone would PR inappropriate things and then have like a site that looks like Contour. I don't know. Did you all have it on for I almost said Arc for
Valera. Yeah, we had
Valera?
the preview on. Yeah,
Did you?
and it was useful. We never had issues with it.
Okay, we should turn that back on then, I guess, or discuss it. It's super helpful to have,
Yeah.
I think, for certain things.
Well, and if you did, then I think you could use that to fix the issue with the site proof check that we are having right now.
Yeah. So what you get is you get this like Netlify URL, and then we can go and use this to validate what we just did. So upgrade guide. Which is this? So here, just that one. Here's 1 to 10. Yeah, see, it's still broken here. That maps to here, but we haven't pushed that yet, so that makes sense. We need a guide on how to set up Cert Manager with secrets as well. Someone wants to do that. It's been on my list for like a while. I haven't done it. Okay. Boom. Is that good? I'll just merge it by hand then.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
We're doing bad things here. And we're recording it, so we have proof that we did it. Okay, so now that's in. We'll go make our branch now, right? We did the upgrade instructions. Now we'll branch off of that. This I'm thinking about it. So git checkout -b. Nope, not that one. All right, 1.11. And then push it. So git push upstream version. This feels sketchy too, that we should have another way to do this, but. All right, so there's our branch. So now we branched off of main, and there's 1.11. So now out here in Contour, there should be a 1.11 release. There it is. Did I rebase? I'm dumb. I didn't. How do I do that? Just rebase 1.11 and push it.
I guess you can, yeah, just do that.
Sorry, I knew I was gonna do that.
YOLO.
That seems sketchy. Yeah, it seems sketchy to me. But rebase upstream main, right? So now that should be the upgrade guide is the last thing. Yeah. Push upstream release. Does that sound right? That sounds right to me. Okay. No one saw that, right? Okay. All right,
Good to go.
so yeah. Now we got to tag it. I guess we do this thing. Now we do this from main. No, from the release branch, huh?
From the release branch, yeah.
This is what I screwed up.
This updates the YAMLs and stuff.
I screwed this up before. So this is going to be 1.10.1 to 1.11.0, right?
I guess so. I think so. So I think what will happen in this case is it basically ignores the 1.10.1, right? It's just going to go find instances of the main tag for images and replace that with 1.11.0.
Okay. I'm going to do a PR for that. I can still do it.
It creates a tag too, right?
It creates it locally. It doesn't push it, I don't think. It checks whether it can push it, but it doesn't actually push it.
Okay.
I hate when it auto commits. That just messes me up. So it did commit update. So here's the image.
Well, and I think it does that because it then tags it so that those changes are part of the tag.
Yeah,
tag
but
release, right?
Yeah, but it hasn't pushed anything to the remote. It's all just local for now.
I need to push this branch again then, huh? I can't PR it because it's already in, right?
Yeah, I mean, you might want to just look at the contents of the commit. We can all eyeball them and make sure they look okay.
So it updated the search gen name, contour name, 1.11.0. So those two here. I did the image here in the contour deployment. I think that's all in here. And then here's Envoy. This is the shutdown manager, and this should also be the init container, the Bootstrap. So it's those two. That looks good. And then here's the rendered version. Does it seem fine? Anyone else want to see something?
Yeah, looks right to me.
All right. So I guess I'll push upstream the branch, right? And then we'll push the tag, right?
Yeah, and this has git push -- tags. I usually do git push upstream and then just the specific tag that I just created. I feel like that's safer.
So you do what?
Just v1.11.0. Yeah.
I think I always create a release first. That's what I used to do. This is what Dave used to have me do. I'd make a release in GitHub, and that would create the tag for you. I always felt weird pushing tags from my machine, but it's all the same. So now we have to do that. We have to make the release now, right? Because now we've done the release in a sense.
Right. So now the image will be building. We have, a pipeline to build the image based on a tag.
Yeah. Yeah. So out here, there should be an action that just saw that tag get pushed. Here it is. So this will build and push, like you said, the 1.11 image. and then manually we'll have to set the latest tag. So we always have contour latest point to the latest release, not the latest push of main. That makes sense. We got to make the release though, huh? Over here.
Before making the release, is that where we need to merge PR 3212? So it's in the release.
Yeah, we can do that now. Because the tag's already there. So now we got to merge yours. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the GitHub release is really just our changelog. Like, it's nothing more than that. The tag is what triggers the image to build. And then we don't publish binaries.
Yeah, so now this will work. So we can just merge this one, I think. We don't need to wait for CI. All right, so that's in. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. We have to go. I'll just publish this now, and then we'll go add the release notes to it. This is the auto dot. That's kind of cool. It does that. I didn't know it did that. It puts in all the commits by user.
Yeah, that is pretty nice, actually.
Magically. That's neat. And we can write these whenever. I mean, we can write them now, but there's no, we can always edit those, I guess. I can do that later. So yeah, one more step, I guess. So we just finish this and then we can do the operator, I guess. Or Danny, you can do the operator. Since this is your baby. You and Micaiah can team up.
There you go.
Does that script do is the latest thing done now automatically, Steve?
Yeah, I automated that.
Did you?
2 ago. Yeah.
All right, you're cool then. Sorry.
Yeah, we had it in Valero, so I just basically copied the code over.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. And I think we've run it enough times that we're confident it works across like patch releases and things like that. I'm just refreshing the Docker Hub page to see if the image is built yet. Yep, just showed up. V1.11.0 and latest.
Oh, I don't have Docker running. Cool. So that's that. What's the operator look like? Same thing?
Yeah, it should be the same process.
Do you want to do this one, Daniel, or?
Oh, why don't you drive and let me watch.
Well, I've never done the operator yet either, so this will be.
Should be the same process.
Yeah. Let me see if I have. You know, here we'll just go to Okay, so we'll do VS Code. You can see it better if I do it this way. So there's no docs to set up. So where's are there like did we write notes for this, or do we
When you
just
say
run?
notes, like release notes?
Yeah, like how do we release it? Like we have that list here on Project Contour. Yeah.
Right, and it's the same process. I say the same process, but it's really, if you go to the release process and just jump down to branch for release.
Okay, so just start here. Yeah.
So make sure you, you check out main, pull main, that you have the latest main, create your topic branch release -1.11. Set your upstream.
And we're going to match the release. This will be 1.11 too.
Yes.
Even though we haven't ever.
Yeah, you mentioned when we actually do the GitHub release that we could mark it as alpha, right?
Yeah, we should be able to.
There's a box I know you can tick to call it a pre-release.
Yeah.
Right at the bottom there.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Because it is 1. Whatever, but that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we made the decision just to marry up the
Yeah.
versions, which I think, is the right thing to do for users.
All right, so we will do 1.11. Let's do this all in one
And I
step.
didn't see you pulled the latest from main, right?
I did, yeah. So
Okay. All right.
now just to make sure. So image pull policy was the last commit.
So
Yeah, image pull policy. Cool. So that's the last one. So we should be good there. And then we can do the same thing here, I guess. That's the doc site. This one. I guess what do you put for an old release? Nothing.
I use main instead of the main and then v1.11.0.
Better than what we did before, yeah. 1.11.0. Cool.
So let's take a look at the log. You do a log -u so we could actually see what the
Do what? Log
-u.
Oh, -u.
So we've got the tag for customization set there. We're now using contour v1.11.0 since that was cut. We update the image pull policy because the default is always for development purposes. So we switch that to if not present. And then the examples should reflect the same changes if you scroll down, so we can just verify.
Yeah, 1.11.
Contour, yep. Cool.
Ship it.
Let's do it.
That's it, right? And then so I'll just push this all in one step, and then we'll push the branch or we'll push the tag. So git push upstream release 1.11. And we can push tag. Just push 1.11.0. Push upstream.
And this is where it kind of starts to get a little gray for me because some of the obviously the CI test and so forth.
So hopefully that was just kicked off when we hit the tag. There we go.
Yeah, so I think we copied the GitHub action over
Yeah.
that basically watches for new tags and then goes and builds a Docker image.
Yeah, so this should go build us, that 1.11 image for the operator now. And now we can draft the release for here. So I can say new release, version 1.11.0, contour operator, version 1.11.0, and then we'll say pre-release. There you go. And then again, we'll have to put notes in here and stuff. So whatever we want to say in there, we can do that.
Yeah, I think maybe just a simple note, initial support and point to maybe the getting started guide to
Yeah.
check it out.
And then we can watch this to make sure. This works, and then we'll pull the images, make sure that that's there, and then be good to go. We did it. And then we'll get your blog. Where's that? You post that in Slack, I think, right?
Should be in the chat window near the top of the
Yeah.
chat threads.
Oops.
If everyone else on the call doesn't mind taking a look at that gist at the top of the Slack thread, and let me know if you feel like something's incorrect or
Where is it?
like that.
Where did you send it? I guess I'm trying to.
In the Slack or the chat window of the Zoom here. I'll put it.
Oh, Zoom. Sorry, I'm in. Sorry, I'm in the wrong place. This one?
Yep. Or I guess for reading purposes, this might be easier to read.
Okay.
A little typo. Thanks, Sanjay.
Yeah, I should do this little trick where we do the. Paste in here. I do that sometimes.
Yeah, I should have done that.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, dependent. Good eye, Sanjay.
I'll update it really quick.
Yeah.
All right, updated.
Okay, so that works. So we should be able to Docker pull project contour hyphen operator 3111.0. Boom. So if we were to try this out, not that, right? Do we have docs like a release doc kind of thing? Because this is going to deploy from main, right?
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm talking in a mute over here.
Oh, sorry. No worries.
Maybe that's part of the update that we should have done too, is a README to, you see that's main, right? We don't want to use main to test this. We want to use the tagged branch.
Well, we have, is it in the quick start now, isn't it?
It should be. Yeah. So
Yeah.
go to the contour docs,
Okay, let's see that.
getting started.
Yeah, okay, perfect. This is a good way, yeah.
Well, can we verify that that resolves to the operator, the branch version?
Yeah, 1.11.
Can you do just a quick search for image : and I want to just verify? There it is. Cool.
I don't know why it won't go further. That's it. Oh. Yeah, that's the bottom.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So let's just try it.
Yeah.
And then we'll know. So we'll apply this. I have a brand new cluster.
Can you watch the deployment, or kubectl git deploy?
Is it?
It's in namespace contour -operator.
Why am I off the screen here?
Sweet, no restart, that's running. Awesome. Now you go back to the getting started guide. Yeah, there you go. Follow the log if you want to, as we create a contour, and we can see everything that it does. Yeah, contour. There you go. Cool. Yeah, it's sitting there just waiting. So yeah, now
Just
create
this. And what's this do? This is just that one little small.
Yeah, can we again verify it? Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So we'll just put this up here.
There we go. Magic.
Shaboom.
Instead of doing that, do a watch kubectl git contour / contour -sample. Basically, as the dependent resources are instantiated, we now see the contours available, and then go ahead and do the card from the getting started guide to verify, and then curl the ingress.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's available. Cool.
So yeah, that contour becomes true when we get the contour deployment reports available, and at least one instance of the daemon set is running.
So then let's go ahead and deploy site examples proxy demo. I should be able to curl. Let's put this down here. Curl project contour.io, and it should work. There it is. Cool.
Hey,
Sweet.
So end to end.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah,
So what we'll have to do
now the fun stuff really begins, where we get to do some neat stuff with the operator. So we've got our baseline now established.
Yeah. All right, so we need release notes for both contour and then the operator, and then put the blog stuff together. Okay. I don't have much. I think we can. I think I can make you. We can add a little bit more stuff in here. We have some like templatey stuff we put in our blogs, which I can add, and then I'll see if Jonas is around just to give his quick eyes on it, and then we can get that up.
Cool.
Up on the blog, which should be out to here. Yeah.
Is this the contour the operator content, is that going to make up the 1.11 release blog? Is that how we're doing it?
I think so. I mean, is there anything else in there that's worth calling out?
I mean, the only thing, we just want to call out that like V2 support is gone now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't
Alright, well-
think there are any other big features.
Was there anything with Helm too? I thought that was mentioned also.
I know we added it to our docs, reference to the Bitnami Helm chart. But as far as I know, that chart already existed and we were just documenting it.
Well, yeah, Steve, I mean, I looked at some of the other blog, some of the other blog posts. I saw that they're written in Markdown. And so I figured that instead of me submitting a PR and having to mess around with that, I just created a GIST in Markdown. So it should be pretty easy to copy and paste.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. I think the V3 stuff's probably good to call out, Steve, like you said. So V3 call out, just to make sure that's clear. Yeah. All right. I can do all that stuff. I get that together and I can PR that into there. Sweet. And then I'll show up in here. Okay, so next thing to do is I think we need to clean up this a little bit, which should be good. And then I think we should have either that or have the same, or we should just add the operator to here as part of that checklist, right? Because we're going to release together. So I think it should be like, go to Contour, make a branch, push the branch, go to the operator, make a branch, push the branch. You know what I mean? Do the release, push the thing. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we don't forget about it, because then you can't mess it up,
I agree with you. Like, I don't like having like if then else go-tos in my release documentation, which is a little bit what we have right now. Like, just duplicate the information and just have it be do this, do this, do this, do this. I took a bunch of notes as we went through. I just have them in a private doc, but
okay, perfect.
I can like publish that in an issue, and then we can start to, either I'll put a PR up or we can just break it up and start to work through that.
Cool. No, that'd be awesome. Thanks, Steve.
Steve, the one thing that I noticed that we didn't do when we cut the operator that just didn't come to my mind is, should we update the README instructions? Because right now, if you go to the release branch or the tag branch, it's still showing main. Probably not a big deal, but maybe I just address that moving forward.
Where on the?
If you go to the operator, GitHub operator, and you the main branch, you look at the README and it does, it's completely accurate. But if you go and switch to the release branch or the tag branch, and you then follow the instructions, it's still saying to use main instead of
I see
the branch.
Yeah, we can update that. Yeah, that makes sense. Which I think too, we can have. Yeah.
So now that it's cut, what would be the process? Do I submit a PR to the release branch, or does it go to main and then backport it?
I think for this, you could just PR the branch, the release branch.
Okay.
And then we'll update that for this branch.
And then we could
But
probably
then the tag. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we could probably update. Remember, we ran that automation to update the image tags. So we can probably just add some code in there to also update the README link so that it happens automatically as part of the release process.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, of doing. So yeah, I was just trying to understand like the logistics of doing that.
As far as the existing tag, I would just leave it as is. I think it's probably not a big deal.
And I'm not sure. I mean, do you want to make this be the latest release every time or not? Or be main? I don't know. Like from the root without on main.
Yeah.
Like when you first go to it and you got to deploy it, do you want to have folks play with the release version maybe versus the main branch? I don't know.
Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm going to submit a PR towards to Maine to include updating the README, and then I'll submit a PR to release 111 to update the README, manually, and then going forward as part of that release script, it will update the README automatically. And then to Chris's point, I'm just not gonna, I'll just leave the tag alone.
Okay.
Sound good?
Cool. Yeah, it works for me.
Awesome. That went a lot smoother than I guess I thought it'd go smooth, but you always have that scary voice in the back of your head, like, oh gosh, something.
Oh yeah, it's hard to test. You can't really validate it unless you do it.
Yeah.
Well, definitely congrats to you, Daniel and Micaiah, and thanks for all the work you put into it. It's exciting to see the first version ship.
Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. Everyone working together, and as I mentioned the other day, it's cool to see some outside contributors starting to get involved too. And yeah, I mean, this is now the first real release, so I expect even more eyes on it. And again, this is just baseline stuff. We've got a lot more fun stuff to add to it, and that's when it's going to get really interesting.
You can pop the operator in here, maybe. Operator. Yeah. Link. Cool. I'm gonna step away just for a second. I'll be right back. Cool. What'd I miss? Is 1.12 ready yet?
There's some Envoy CVEs.
Oh. So I guess that's part B we should figure out too, is bumping the milestones, right?
Yeah, if you were reading my mind, I was going to ask if you create a new milestone.
Yeah, add that to your list, Steve, if you have a... Not to make you a note taker, but yeah. milestones. So now we can close out this one. There's still 2 open. We did that, right? I guess some of it's still. That's what we were just talking about, huh? Adding the operator.
Yeah, let's see the docs. So contour, some of these, there was in one of the different threads with Nick where it's like, okay, like, what, before I get too far ahead of myself with all the docs is I'm going to take some of those check boxes and create a new issue to expand the docs.
Okay. Do you want to bump those to 1.12 or? That's usually what we do. When we have stuff left over, we just move it over to.
This create, why don't I? Yeah, bump it to 112, and then this create change log. I created that because, like with service APIs and Kubernetes, it's more of like you're having to manage a change log file, but I think I'd probably just close this out. I left it open just to make sure that we address the change log. That's just part of cutting the GitHub release, right?
Yeah, so that's part. Yeah, sorry, I was distracted by something else. Usually what we do is we'll have in the release, we'll have release notes. So I guess the contour is a good place to look. We'll usually call out. We don't really have like a change log, because it depends on. We've done it differently a few times, but typically what we've done in the past is we'll just call out like major things that are reasonable. So like XDS v3 support, blah 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 blah. And then we leave like the minor stuff, just we don't really call it out. I know sometimes we've had a big change list of things. Someone did that. I think James had one that was like that before. So I don't know, whatever's useful for folks. But we usually just call out the things that are important.
Yeah, I went ahead and closed the change log with a reference to your feedback on that issue, and then we've moved the docs to 112, so I think we're good there. No open issues in V111. Good.
Yeah, we can go close that out then.
$42 closed. Wow.
Alrighty.
We obviously delayed 111 for this month, a couple weeks. What has happened in the past with the January release? Is that usually pushed to the middle of the month as well, or do you just skip January and go to February due to most everyone taking a couple weeks off for December, or is that TBD?
I don't know. In the past, we've actually delayed these releases. Like we probably wouldn't have done this one. We would have done it like in the new year, for the same reasons that there's not much in the contour release, but now you have the operator, so that was a good motivation to get the operator released. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to discuss and see. But yeah, it seems silly to release again with 2 weeks of work in January, which isn't going to be very much, I don't think.
Yeah, and I guess like for me, the underlying issue is just like as I start putting issues into the milestone, it helps to know what that timeline is. So I'm actually executing as planned, as opposed to not having enough time.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. So I mean, because +2, there's a coordination now that's going to have to happen between contour and the operator bits, because Like say there's PRs in review for the operator that you want to get in the release, we're gonna have to delay Contour to get those in, and vice versa. So yeah, we'll have to work on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we
just
might-
keep me posted as you hear or as you figure out, rough timing, and then I'm sure I'll circle back as well, just as I start adding issues to the milestone. Making sure I don't bite off more than I can chew.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know what we did last year, so we could look. October. There we go. January 9th, we did a release. But see, I don't think we did one in December. Let's see. Nope, December 10th. Yeah. That's a patch. Yeah. For the Envoy version. So, yeah. So we went from October, November, December. Yes. Because with Thanksgiving and then Christmas, I think we ended up having that just all be one big release. So from basically the beginning of November through beginning of the new year. So whatever time was in those 2 weeks, it's sort of like what we did. Because this was just a Envoy patch.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like at this point we just won't do a release at the beginning of January and just snap to end of January again or beginning of February.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That's what
Yeah, I
I'd
think
say.
that makes
but-
sense too, is just target beginning of February. And then that should get us set on the monthly cadence.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm out the next 2 weeks, so I guess we should post this in the channel or something. But I think Steve, you're out as well.
Yep, I'll be out.
So if y'all need anything between now and or after tomorrow, I'm not a very good work during vacation kind of person, so you probably won't see me.
I'll be out for 2 weeks too. So it's like,
Yeah.
let's cut a release. All right, peace out. Hopefully it
Yeah.
all works out for you.
Yeah.
If not, talk to us come 2021.
Yeah. This is the hard part too, doing this on a Thursday, because now I don't want to work tomorrow because it's like, wow.
Oh, well, at least you will be out. Yeah, today's my last day. I'm going to be out tomorrow all the way through like the 4th.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'd expect we'll chat at the next next meeting. We can just pick a date and go at. But yeah, I think we should just do it end of or beginning of February or something, and get back on a release cadence of the end of January, beginning of February, whatever that makes sense, and then just go from there.
And maybe we should try and just formalize our release timing a little bit. Like we could say, first Wednesday of every month or something, just so that everybody has like a specific target. We've been, loosey goosey and just say like around the end of the month, beginning of the month.
Yeah.
But now that there are a few more dependencies, just formalizing it a little bit might be helpful.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Or at least plan it out. Like part of this release process is setting the next one or something,
Yeah, that would work too. Yeah.
So at least you knew ahead of time what it was.
Yeah.
I guess I can look in here and do the same thing.
I already did it while you were
Did you?
doing the other one.
Oh,
yeah.
you did. Yeah, good call.
And close that one at 11 and move the stuff over. Yeah.
Yeah. All my lame is stale ones I've gotten to get back to.
I still need to do the project board though. That's yet another thing that needs to be up.
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
Something else, Daniel, I'm not sure. Again, I don't know what to do, but out here in Contour, there's that project board. This thing. I think the idea of it being at the org level is that we can bring it in from any repo. So we should be able to add things to here if this helped plan some things. We can talk with Alex too. Alex is like the new product person for Contour. But putting things into what you want to, like these parking lot things, what we should do next sort of things, if that helps plan or not in terms of priorities and stuff.
Yeah, I think it helps kind of give that bigger picture view.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's nice having the milestones in each of the projects and then folding all that stuff up into this project board.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, sweet. Well, does anyone else have anything else? I know we've been here for 2 hours ish, 10 minutes left, but we can cut
Yeah,
it here if you want.
Can
Yeah.
we talk briefly about the rate limit service and the thinking around that?
Yeah.
Sure,
Steve?
yeah.
Steve's up.
Did you have specific questions or topics you wanted to talk about, or?
So I commented on your PR on your doc, and I'm just wondering I mean, you listed various options there. Are there any preferences for a particular way forward that's being discussed internally, or?
Yeah, so I think I saw you comment on the first doc I wrote, which was the background doc, and then since then I put up this PR that Steve has here, which is kind of the design proposal that I'm putting forward. So I published this earlier this week. You probably haven't had a chance to see this one, but yeah, I would definitely take a look at this, and if you have specific feedback on this, let me know. We're obviously trying to make as many users as possible happy. And so, tried to take input from everyone that I've been able to get input from and incorporate it into here, but it may not perfectly line up to some of the ideas.
Okay, excellent. I'll take a look at that and comment. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, definitely appreciate the feedback. So, whatever input you have, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Cheers. And also say 1.10.1 works perfectly fine. Just upgraded all my clusters to that while we were talking.
Awesome.
Cool.
Did you report the panic? I can't quite remember.
I did.
Yeah, okay. Thought so.
Yeah, it's the day after our change freeze, though. If it managed to get
Okay.
this one in.
Yeah, we were just waiting for the Envoy 1.16.2 image to be published because we wanted to include that in the 1.10.1 patch release. So we were kind of waiting a few days for that.
Yeah, I saw there were some release issues there with images not appearing and things like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's all I had from my side.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you all again. Yeah, thank you, Dinian and Micaiah, for all your help with the operator. This is awesome. And so my action is I'm going to go write the docs. I'll get the blog stuff together, and then I can ping you, Dinian, on that to give your last quick look at that, and then that's it. And then we will see you all in the new year. So hope everyone has a nice holiday season, a good break, and we'll catch you in the new year.
Great, thanks. Bye.
Right, have a good Christmas.
See y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
take
New Year,
care.
everyone.